completed. We have completed our cell, tissue, and skeletal system. So now we will proceed to muscular system. So you people have went through the slides. If any doubt from last class or last topics, then please don't hesitate to ask me. So we will proceed to muscular system. Just a minute. I will share my screen. Actually, it's not difficult for us. We have already discussed a bit about muscular system. So now I'm sharing my screen. Is it visible? Is it visible? My screen is visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we will start our another system, muscular system, which is the main covering of our skeletal system, and these are the group of muscles which are uh, consisting and which are conforming different systems, different organs of our body. So a muscle consists of elongated fibers of muscle cells called muscle fibers surrounded by protective tissue. So what are muscles? A muscle consists of elongated fibers of muscle cells. Means each muscle cell is known as muscle fiber. And these are a bit elongated. And this is surrounded by protective tissue. When we will go to the details of each muscle fiber or bundles of muscle fiber, then we will see how it is covered and how it is protected. Muscle has two ends, each attached to bone, the muscle's origin and muscle's insertion. Means the two ends of muscle, let's take an example like our bicep muscle. Our bicep muscle has a lot of muscle fibers. Means it's this bicep muscle is not made up of one single muscle fiber. A muscle is made up of many muscle fibers, so it's a muscle tissue. When we talk about a single muscle, we should imagine a muscle tissue which is consisting of a lot of muscle fibers. Means a lot of muscle cells, single cell of muscle tissue. So if we are taking an example of bicep muscle, then this muscle is having two ends. Means each and every muscle is having two ends. One end is the insertion, means from where the muscle is originating, or the origin point, or the sorry, one end is origination and another end is insertion. Mean originating point means from where the muscle is getting started, and the another end is insertion point, means the ending point of muscle. each end is each end is surrounded by tendon. or each end is connected to bone by tendon. Obviously, the connective tissue which connects from muscle to bone is known as tendon. You can see here in the picture the white colored surface. You can see the red colored surface is muscles, obviously. Mm, yeah, here you can see here muscles are reddish. Here also back side muscles are reddish in color, a bit reddish in color, but you can see white colored surface in between muscles. So these white color surfaces are tendons. Tendons are connective tissue which connect from muscle to bone. So these white colored surfaces are tendons we can see. So one end is origin and another end is insertion point of muscle. Uh, at both of these points, tendons attach the muscle to bone, obviously. Muscle origin refers to muscles proximal attachment. Means the at where the muscle is originating, the first point of muscle. And muscle is a group of muscle tissue which contract together to produce a force. Means muscle is a group of muscle tissue. When we will study detail about muscle, we will see what is how this group are formed and how these are covered. Everything we will see. And muscle is group of muscle tissue which contract together to produce a force. When we contract our muscle, we produce a force. Or when muscle is contracting their self, sorry, own self, and then it also produces a force. As we know, our circulatory system circulates blood throughout our body. So where this force is getting generated to proceed the blood or to circulate the blood to the next position or to the next part of body. Means no, if there was no force, then the blood in the vessels should be stagnant, as like pond, as like water in pond. But from where this forcing is getting generated, that the flow of blood is consistent. This force is generated by our muscles only. They consistently contract and relax the smooth muscles, and they help to continue the flow of blood. Muscular system is made of different types of muscle and has several functions. About 650 muscles in human body. So there are so many muscles in human body which can't be uh, find or which can't be counted. So approximately 650 muscles or more than 650 muscles are there in human body. Muscles make up approximately 40% of total weight. Okay, so approximately 40% of total weight is made by our muscles only on an healthy individual. We're not talking about people suffering from obesity or underweight. We are talking about an healthy individual. 40% of body weight is made up of muscles. Now, structure of muscle. Muscle is arranged in basic pattern to bundle fibers separated by protective layers. So, what are these? First, epimysium. The entire muscle is covered in connective tissue sheath called epimysium, a tough connective tissue similar to cartilage. Means a bundle, means a muscle, entire muscle is covered by a connective tissue or sheath of connective tissue called epimysium. Means the total muscle, let's imagine a muscle bundle, and this bundle is covered by a sheath called epimysium. It separates the muscle from nearby tissue and organs. The epimysium is a denser layer of collagen fibers that surrounds the entire muscle. So this epimysium is also made up of dense layer of collagen fibers. So this collagen fiber is very important. Till now we have discussed very so many times about collagen fibers. So I think you will remember where collagen fibers are being found and what are these. Like in the next last class we have also discussed about the intervertebral disc. So those intervertebral disc, annulus fibrous, or nucleo, sorry, that center one, um I'm just forgetting about that center part of intervertebral disc. Please remember me. What was the
Nucleus
name?
pulposus, ma'am.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Nucleus pulposus was also made up of collagen fiber, and that annulus fibrous was also made up of collagen fiber, but the structure was only different. Here also we can see the epimysium, the covering of muscle bundle, is also made up of collagen fiber only. Now, the second is perimysium, a bundle of muscle fibers called fascicle. We will discuss by this picture. It's clear here. You can see the uppermost transparent layer or transparent covering is here, that is epimysium, and this below this epimysium we can see perimysium. Perimysium is the covering of the bundle, which is means every muscle fiber is making a bundle, and that bundle is covered by perimysium. You can see here every muscle fiber is consisting, and some group of there is collected, and that group is covered by a covering, that is perimysium, and such groups are collected together again, and those groups forming a single muscle tissue or a single muscle, and again that muscle is covered by a sheath, that is epimysium. So let's talk about perimysium, a bundle of muscle fiber called fascicle. Like you can see here, when muscle fibers are grouped together, a bundle is formed, that is called fascicle. So this fascicle is covered by perimysium. These fascicles are surrounded by their own connective tissue protecting layer called perimysium. The perimysium divides muscle into a series of compartments. Each compartment contains a bundle of muscle fiber called fascicle. So you can see here single muscle fiber, then single muscle fiber is bounded to fascicle, and then group of fascicle is muscle. Now, third is endomysium, surrounded individual muscle fibers. Now we are talking about the individual muscle fiber. So this individual muscle fiber is surrounded by endomysium. Each muscle fiber is then wrapped in an endomysium, another protective layer. So you can see here our muscles are too much protective. The single cell of muscle tissue is muscle fiber, and it is protected or covered by endomysium. Now, these muscle fibers are grouping together to form a fascicle. Now, this fascicle is covered by perimysium. Now, these fascicles are forming a group, and this group is covered by epimysium. Now, a complete muscle has been formed. Now, this muscle will extend a connective tissue that is known as tendon, and this tendon will connect this muscle to bone. Right? Any confusion till now?
No.
Okay. Now, types of muscles. We already discussed about these types: skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and cardiac muscle. So, skeletal muscle, known as voluntary or striated muscle. Cylindrical shaped structure. Okay. These are voluntary and I'm sorry for the disturbance. So, this striated muscle structure is derived from the arrangement of actin and myosin tissue. We will also discuss about this later. So, this striated structure comes from the actin and myosin fiber. So now we should proceed. Cylindrical shaped structure. Skeletal muscles are cylindrical shaped structure, means there we are not talking here about each muscle fiber, because each muscle fiber is of spindle shaped. We have already discussed about spindle shape, what spindle means or what spindle shape means. So each muscle fibers are spindle shaped, but these these muscle skeletal muscle grouped into cylindrical shape. Cells are long, striated, multinuclear cells. During a discussion of cell, we have also discussed that multinucleated cells can be found in muscular tissue or muscular cells. So here we have come to muscular tissue. So these muscular cells are multinucleated. Widely distributed muscle help in locomotion. Obviously, without muscles, we can't locomote or we can't do our locomotion. Under voluntary control, obviously, skeletal muscles are the only muscles we can voluntarily control. Then example are neck, shoulder, or limbs, means or both extremities and back. Now, smooth muscle, known as voluntary or smooth or non-striated or visceral muscle. So these are the names you should remember. Voluntary muscles, sorry, involuntary muscles, smooth muscles, non-striated or visceral muscle. I'm sorry, I have already talked about spindle shape. Spindle shape is a smooth muscle. So these skeletal muscles are cylindrical in shape, but smooth muscles are spindle in shape. I'm sorry for the correction. I'm sorry for the that. Now, long spindle shape structure located in walls of hollow visceral organs except the heart, because heart is having its own type of muscle known as cardiac muscle. Located in walls of hollow visceral organs except heart, mononuclear cells. Okay, these smooth muscles are mononucleated, means single nucleus will be found here under involuntary control, because we can't control our smooth muscle, uh, like example urinary bladder, liver, lungs, kidney. We can't control this. So means we can't say that now uh, I will increase my filtration rate of kidney. This can't be happened. Or uh, now I will secrete more this bile juice and store it in gallbladder. This can't be happen. It is not in our voluntary control. These are involuntary control. These are under involuntary control. So next is cardiac muscle, known as heart muscle or myocardium. Myo means muscle, cardium means heart. So heart muscles, myocardium. Located in the walls of heart, obviously, walls of heart are myocardium or cardiac muscle. Branching striated cells. Yeah, the special thing in heart is the muscles are branching and striated, means cells are striated. Mononuclear cells, here also cells are mononuclear, means single nucleus is present. Under involuntary control, heart is also in our involuntary control. We can't control our heart. Function is to pump blood. Contraction of this muscle helps in pumping of blood throughout the body. Obviously, when heart pumps, then only the force is generated and this flow is continuing throughout the body. So, example is heart only. Now, introduction to main muscles of body. And here we are going to learn about the movements. So, at last classes, you were getting confused about these movements. Now, we will learn about these movements. Flexion means bending, means when flexion occurs, bending the body parts. The main thing is flexion means reduction of angle. That is flexion. Reduction of angle in between joint, in the joints is flexion. So when we are bending our joint, then it is flexion, then flexion is occurring. And extension, straightening our body. Obviously, when we will straighten our body, then this angle in joint will increase. So increase in joint is extension and decrease in joint angle is flexion. Now, abduction, moving away from midline. In last class already we have discussed what midline is. So if we are going away from midline, then it is abduction. And if we are coming towards midline, then it is adduction. Like if we are raising our hand, if we are raising our right hand to right side, then it is abduction. And if we are uh, making our hand closer to our body, then it is adduction. You can see here in the picture, if the hand is raising, then it is abduction. And if the hand is coming to its own position, then it is adduction. Now, lateral rotation, rotation or movement away from the midline. Like you can see here in the picture, if the hand is moving away from the midline, if the hand is going towards more left, then it is lateral rotation. If the hand is coming towards the body, like if the left hand is coming right to the right side of body, then it is medial rotation. Okay. Now circumduction. Circumduction is moving in a circle at a joint. Like if the example we can see, like one bowler uh, in cricket, we have seen the bowler before bowling, he circumducts his hand. He or she at first at first try to keep the ball in motion. So he or she at first rotate his or her hand at the air and then put the ball so that the ball gets some motion. So this is circumduction of hand, right? So these are the movements we should know. Are these movements clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, these are the important muscles we need to know. The name of these important muscles. You can see here the major muscles. These are not very difficult. We all know somewhat, little bit. But these are some important muscles we should know. Like you can see here, bicep brachii. Brachii means it is the brachial artery or the brachial plexus is going through these muscles. So these names are right after that only: biceps brachii, tricep brachii, brachialis. So we all know the upper part, the upper two muscles are bicep, and at the back of forearm, sorry, at the back of upper arm, at the upper part of our upper arm is bicep, and at the back of our upper arm tricep brachii is situated. And you can see here quadricep group in thigh region. These four muscles are forming quadriceps: rectus femoris, vastus internalis, vastus medialis, and one more muscle, vastus femoris, I think. So these four muscles, you can see here these four. Okay. And you can see here this long muscle which is originated, and this long muscle which is twisted from the upper part of thigh to knee. And this is the longest muscle in our body, is known as sartorius. So in exam point of view, this is very important question. Which muscle is the longest muscle in our body? Sartorius muscle, which is located in our thigh. And yeah, at abdominal region, you can see the transverse abdominis, internal oblique, external oblique. Oblique means they are situated in uh, what could we say? They are not straight. They are a bit twisted or a bit. What can we say? I'm not getting the word. They are located in transverse position. They are not located straight. They are appearing in transverse position. That is why oblique. So external oblique, internal oblique, transverse abdominis, internal intercostal muscles found in between ribs, rectus abdominis. These names are due to some shape or due to some function or due to location. Muscles are named after these three things only. As per their location, as per their function, or as per their shape. So this rectus abdominis means this muscle is rectangular in shape. So rectus abdominis. Or you can see in the back trapezium. Trapezius muscle at the neck. You can see here this muscle. This muscle is, you can see that this is shaped like trapezius. So that is why it is named, the muscle shape is like trapezium. So the muscle name is trapezius. Like that only, some other muscles are also there, like here at the bottom, fibularis longus. Longus means the muscle a bit longer in shape. That is fibularis longus. Also, you can see deltoid here at the just below the shoulder. Latissimus dorsi, major muscle of back, and the largest muscle in human body is gluteus maximus, which is covering our glute. So gluteus maximus, gluteus medius, and gluteus minimus is forming our glute. So the back major muscle of back is latissimus dorsi, trapezius, and you can see from the back side here.
And which one is the biggest?
Biggest one is gluteus maximus, and longest one is sartorius.
Oh.
So these are the important questions here that may come from anywhere. So these are the important muscle names you should learn. Gastrocnemius at the lower leg, and yeah, these are the muscles. So I think we should proceed to next. Yeah, some more muscles are there in, like pectoralis major in the chest. You will see the picture and get the names of some important muscles. We all should know about these muscles. So at least some major muscles you should know. By being a yoga student, we should have detailed knowledge of anatomy, physiology. But at the starting, the major muscles should be known to everyone. Okay. These are, we are proceeding to next. Frontalis muscles are, means these are the groups and what are their functions. We are going to learn that. Like these are from face, and then we will proceed further. Further, we will knowing about some.
You will take us through all those muscle groups, is it, ma'am?
No, not all those. Some important muscles we will discuss about. Only some important muscles and some important groups only.
Okay, ma'am.
So now we are going to discuss about frontalis muscle. Origin are origin is epicranial aponeurosis. It's not very important. Go through this. If it is okay to remember all this, then very good. If you can't, then leave it. So the origin of frontalis muscle is epicranial aponeurosis, and the insertion is skin of eyebrow and roof of nose.
This is on the face, ma'am. Is
Yeah,
this on the face?
you can see here this frontalis muscle. It is well pictured here. It is leveled here, the frontalis muscle. It is it is originated from epicranial aponeurosis. The insert, so origination point of muscle, you can see from where the red color is getting started after white color in the skull. That is the origin point of this frontalis muscle, and where it is getting inserted, it is getting inserted just at near eyebrow, and get the term skin of eyebrow and roof of nose. And what is its action? It elevates eyebrow and wrinkles skin of forehead. We elevates our eyebrow, getting amazed or getting so happy, or this like emotion, like in these situations we elevate our eyebrows. So for that purpose, this muscle is getting contracted and relaxed. So frontalis muscle covers part of forehead of the skull, and it is a part of occipitofrontalis muscle along with occipital muscle. Now, the next is occipitalis muscle. You can also see this in the picture. At the back of head, the red color is starting and it is ending here. You can see it is leveled just below temporalis. So the origin is occipital and temporal bone, and insertion is epicranial aponeurosis. You can see here it. Okay, it is originated from below and it is inserting to epicranial aponeurosis. Now, action pulls scalp posteriorly, means from the back of head, it is pulling our scalp. It is forming our uh, scalp, means not scalp. Scalp is formed by bones. The covering of scalp is formed by this occipital muscle at the back of head, or where occipital bone is situated. This muscle is covering that occipital bone. and it consists of a posterior muscular part over the occipital bone. It is a part of occipital frontalis muscle along with frontalis muscle. Okay. Now, this temporalis muscle. Origin from temporal fossa. Oh, so fossa means cavity. We have already, uh, no, I think I have not told you earlier. Fossa means also cavity. So, temporal fossa is the origin point of temporal muscle, temporalis muscle. Now, insertion is coronoid process of mandible. You can see here the from these fossa, the muscle is getting generated and it is inserted to mandible. And please tell me which bone is mandible?
Jaw.
Which jaw?
Lower jaw.
Lower jaw.
Yeah, very good. So, the temporalis muscle is originating from temporal fossa and getting inserted to mandible. And its action, it closes the mouth and assists with chewing, closes the jaw. Like when we laugh too much, or we eat a hard food, or we chew food from a long time, or we talk too much, then our jaw is getting suffered or our jaw is getting pain. So this pain is from this temporalis muscle only. Okay. So now next muscle is at neck, sternocleidomastoid muscle. This is a very important muscle of neck, sternocleidomastoid muscle. Its origin from manubrium of sternum, sternal head of clavicle. You can see here it is originating from at the back. It is originating at the back. Sorry, it is originating from here at below, manubrium of sternum, and clavicle. It's originating from below and it is inserting to at the mastoid process of temporal bone. It's located a bit back side of skull. So it's originated from sternum and it is inserted to this mastoid process of temporal bone, and its actions are huge. It turns the head. When we turn our head, we can feel our sternocleidomastoid muscle. It's long and twisted. When both muscles contract at the same time, they flex the cervical vertebrae or draw the sternum and clavicle upward when the head is maintained in a fixed position. Example in forced respiration. Or we can feel when we are bending our neck backward. When we are bending our neck backward, then also this sternocleidomastoid muscle is getting contracted at both sides, and our sternum and clavicle is getting elevated. And here is the example of forced breathing too. Like when we are breathing deeply, or when we are doing clavicular breathing, or when we are doing complete deep breathing, then this muscle is getting involved and our this sternum and clavicle is getting elevated due to contraction of this muscle. Now, latissimus dorsi. This muscle is one of the largest muscles in our upper body. This muscle belongs to muscle of scapular motion. Means our scapula is moving with the help of this latissimus dorsi. This arises from posterior part of the iliac crest and the spinous process of lumbar and lower thoracic vertebrae. You can see here the origin point of latissimus dorsi. It is originated from here. You can see the iliac crest. Here, the iliac crest, you can see this is the hip bone, ilium, and iliac crest. Crest means the mountainous structure. So the upper or convex structure of ilium. So from here, this latissimus dorsi is originating, and also it is originating from the lower spinal vertebrae, and its insertion point is in humerus. Humerus is the bone of our upper arm. So this muscle belongs to muscle of scapular motion. This arises from posterior part of the iliac crest and spinous process of lumbar and lower thoracic vertebrae. It passes upward across the back and under the arm to be inserted into bicipital groove of humerus. Okay, so it is originating from this iliac crest and lower vertebrae to this humerus, also known as swimmer's muscle. So you can see in swimmers, this muscle is more developed, and this muscle is helping swimmers a lot in their movement. So that is why known as swimmer's muscle. It adapts and extends the shoulder. Just a few minutes ago, we have already studied about the movements, and one movement was adduction. So for that adduction movement, this muscle is responsible. And extension of shoulder too, means adduction and abduction are the movements which is done by this latissimus dorsi. Now, trapezius.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
can you repeat the last 3 points?
Of this latissimus dorsi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It passes upward across the back, then under the arm to be inserted into bicipital groove of humerus. Means it passes, means it is originating from the back or at the below portion of, from the below portion of back or the bottom of back, because it is originating from hip bone too. Our hip bone, that is ilium. We can see here the structure of ilium, iliac crest. So it is originating from iliac crest and the lower vertebrae. So it is originating from lower back, and it is crossing our back and inserted to our humerus. Humerus means the upper arm, right? And then also known as swimmer's muscle, and it adducts and extend our shoulder. Means it helps.
Why is it known as the swimmer's muscle, ma'am?
Yeah, because it helps in adduction and abduction. So the main movement for swimmers are adduction, abduction, and rotation of shoulder. Their main movement is to um, rotate or adduct or abduct the hand only, because with their hands they cut the water and go ahead. So for adduction and abduction, these muscle is the most helpful. That is why it is known as swimmer's muscle. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, yes, ma'am.
So I think it's enough time now, and I think you are having next class from 6 p.m., right?
Today the class is cancelled, ma'am.
Okay. So should we continue or we should
I mean,
stop?
good, that is good enough. We can stop it here.
Okay. Okay.
Please share the slide deck, ma'am.
Okay, I will share. So sit comfortably. We will conclude the class with ending prayer. Upright your spine. Close your eyes. Adapt Namaskar Mudra in front of your chest and repeat the prayer. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Now rub your palms. Put those palms on your facial muscles. Feel the warmth and open your eyes with a smile. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.